What's up, guys? Mostly like you, I don't like certain things, right? Like when I first started this channel, I was, doing precious metals and things like that. And then I slowly started transition to Bitcoin mostly. And I use my silver and my platinum as kind of like a hedge on inflation, store of value, and my silver as an investment. You know what I mean? Because I just think it's the best precious metals in the world. But most of you that came to my channel is because of precious metals. Well, I've recently, like I said, switched over and mostly talked about Bitcoin. Now, I'm a freedom channel, and I believe all this stuff gives us freedom. But I definitely believe Bitcoin is the future, and it's freedom money. I really believe that.
We needed to give back the power to the people.
What is the value of freedom? In the Western world, we do not often have to consider it. We forget throughout history humanity has had to fight oppression over and over again. We forget our freedoms are not everyone's. We take for granted the tools which help us to defend our freedom and often ignore tools of oppression. Money is one of our most important tools. We use it and depend on it every single day. Society could not function without it. Good money is essential in a free world, but when money breaks, it is disastrous. Money is often used to surveil and control, but good money enables independence.
Freedom has a lot to do with sovereignty. I think they're intrinsically tied together.
If you have a monetary system where your choices affect whether you are even able to use money at all, then I think your freedom in so many other ways is restricted.
You never know, you can trust your government.
During emergencies or unexpected things.
Yes.
You can't easily travel with gold or diamonds or jewelry or real estate. But with Bitcoin, you can go anywhere in the world with Bitcoin. You can cross borders, and it's very hard to stop you.
And no one knows if you have money.
Right.
And then it's in your mind. If you know the password, it's simple as that. If you know the password of your wallet,
Right.
it's always safe. And that's, we needed to give back the power to the people.
Join me as I talk to freedom fighters from around the world to find out what freedom is to them. Let's see how a money that's not controlled by governments or corporations can aid them in their fight. Is Bitcoin freedom money?
And I've had a couple people tell me basically that my channel is terrible now. I had one particular dude, I read his comment and I laughed out loud. He said something to the effect of, oh, this guy's channel used to be good, but I can't even watch the first 2 minutes of his channel. You know what I mean? Because my channel's terrible now. You know what I mean? And that's okay. I know that I'm going to get that because, I'm saying some things that are uncomfortable to people, especially in the precious metal situation. Precious metal stackers and stuff like that. But I gotta tell my truth. So, but one thing that I definitely understand where you guys come from is adapting to change. I don't like to change. In this particular situation that I'm getting ready to talk about with AI, artificial intelligence, is something that I am very, very against. But unfortunately, it's coming whether I like it or not. Just like I don't like the CBDCs, I'm going to fight against those. This is why I have Bitcoin and my precious metals. But unfortunately, I live in a world, and so do you, that artificial intelligence is coming, and we can't stop it. But I also believe Bitcoin can help with that. And I'm gonna mix and match two different videos in here, one from Swan Bitcoin and another one from Bitcoin University, Matthew Cratter. We're gonna talk about how AI, it is a bad thing to me, in my opinion, but hopefully in the future, Bitcoin can help with that. So let's see what they're talking about.
This is Matthew Cratter from Bitcoin University. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about Bitcoin and Bitcoin being money for the AI, for artificial intelligence. I've been getting a lot of questions about whether AI is good or bad for Bitcoin. So I wanted to share my initial thoughts on this intersection. And these really are my initial thoughts. Autonomous AI, I'll be focused on things like self-driving cars and trucks, especially in later incarnations where they're much more advanced than they are today. UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, and drones. Robots used in manufacturing, robots used in warfare, robots used to do basically everything that human beings do now, especially from the standpoint of labor. And I'm focused on autonomous, and this is very important. In other words, AI that is self-operating without human input, or mostly without human input. So imagine a car that not only drives itself, but also fuels itself at the gas station and repairs itself with parts from the auto supply store, and it also does its own oil changes. And you have to ask yourself, how do you think an autonomous AI car will pay for gas, oil, and parts? Here's a parallel thought experiment. You are an AI drone that is able to operate intelligently without any human intervention. You've just made a delivery to someone's house or business or something similar. And you have to ask yourself, what forms of payment are you most likely to accept as an AI drone, as an autonomous AI drone? Would you accept physical gold or silver? Of course not. Too bulky and difficult to transport and assay on the fly.
I have to agree with him on that. When he talked about assay, he was basically saying that, they need to verify whether or not gold or silver is real right on the spot. Bitcoin, obviously, you don't have to do that because there's no fake Bitcoin out there. But it's the money of the future. You know what I mean? That's why I'm stacking it at a very fast pace as I try to. I just can't believe how low these prices are. But anyways, I know that's difficult for you guys to hear, for you precious metal stackers to hear. But that's the future of the world. It's going to be all digital.
Would you accept a US dollar stablecoin like USDC or USDT? Definitely not, because these can be turned off or frozen by the issuer, by Tether or by Circle. Would you choose to accept payment in XRP or Hex or Cardano or Ethereum? Definitely not, because you have to remember that this AI is actually intelligent and understands pre-mines and understands how bad proof of stake is, and is going to be unwilling to accept anything that's not a completely neutral cryptocurrency. As an autonomous AI drone, would you accept Bcash or BSV, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision? Definitely not, because this AI is not interested in failed forks of Bitcoin that lose value against Bitcoin every single year and have much less decentralization than BTC does.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't mess with any altcoins at all. And I don't think AI will either. You know what I mean? I just think some out of the 20-something thousand altcoins, and I'm not saying they're all bad. It's just when it comes to money, I don't think any of them are going to be money. Some of them will have certain things they do in certain things, but as far as like a medium of exchange or money, absolutely not.
As an autonomous AI drone, would you be willing to accept US dollars? Definitely not, because AI is not going to want to trust a crappy US bank or the US government, which has the ability to freeze that bank account whenever it wants to. And it's also not going to want to hold US dollars, because over time they're basically a melting ice cube. Will the AI want Monero? No, simply because it's not as widely accepted. Bitcoin has had a huge head start, and it's much easier to hire an army of CPUs than to hire an army of ASICs to mount an attack on Monero. You're smart AI, so you understand things like network effects and 51% attacks. And you also understand that Monero has vastly underperformed Bitcoin over the past few years. So you're not going to accept Monero. As an autonomous AI drone, you guessed it, you are going to accept Bitcoin. And I think that's a fair conclusion. Now imagine what will happen in the future when someone gives ChatGPT a Bitcoin wallet and puts a little Bitcoin in that wallet. What could ChatGPT or other AI do with this Bitcoin wallet? Well, to begin with, the AI could hire some robot workers, send them to Home Depot for materials, and then build you a house at some point. And this in itself would be a really good incentive for Home Depot and Lowe's to start accepting Bitcoin when they find out that most of their customers are robots that are only willing to pay in Bitcoin. The other thing, you could also buy some robots yourself, send them out to work for AI while you stay home and spend time doing the things that you love.
Yeah, I believe that's going to be the future. AI is going to be definitely outsource the work that us humans used to do. As you can see already, you go to McDonald's or any kind of certain restaurants, they already have robots and computers already taking people's orders. You know what I mean? It's going to be crazy. And I believe that a lot of these stores are going to be accepting Bitcoin. It's going to be faster. A lot of them could be taking CBDCs too, but a lot of people that are going to know about the CBDCs, they're going to find out about Bitcoin as well, and they're going to choose which one do I want to do, Bitcoin or CBDCs? Do I want to be spied on and all this other stuff, or do I want to freedom money? You know what I mean? I think most people are going to choose Bitcoin.
So what are the implications of this? Bitcoin is money for the AI, especially for future AI. And most human beings are not as smart or economically literate as AI, and thus will be left holding the fiat bag. They'll be holding US dollars and other fiat. They'll be holding US government bonds and treasuries, etc. And in the process, they'll be losing purchasing power to inflation and monetary debasement and confiscation. And so most people will become poorer relative to AI. By contrast, AI will understand the history of currency debasement and will demand the soundest and most secure form of money that is available. And that, of course, is Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is the soundest, hardest money in the world, ladies and gentlemen, even more than silver. Again, if you need some silver, they're going to find it somewhere, either in some kind of mine. They're going to find it in the sea, somewhere. You know what I mean? You can't make any more Bitcoin. It's only 21 million, ladies and gentlemen. It is the hardest, soundest money the world has ever seen.
Bitcoin is digital gold on a big tech monetary network. It's the hardest money on earth. It's an institutional grade safe haven asset. It's gold without all the imperfections of gold, on a digital monetary network that moves at the speed of light that you can program to do 1 million transactions a second. Why would you want it? For the same reason that you want to run electric power to your city, or you would want to run running water to your building, because civilization is based on clean energy, clean water, clean communications, clean money.
God's money is gold and silver and platinum because, you know, it was made from the stars or whatever, but it wasn't made for money. It was just a precious metal that we found. Bitcoin was actually made for money by humans. It's actually made to be a store of value and also a medium of exchange. It's made by us to do that. Not like, unlike, you know, gold and silver. You know what I mean? I love gold and silver. But as far as transacting every single day over the digital world and the internet and things like that, it's definitely the soundest, hardest money in the world, and that's Bitcoin.
Bitcoin will be the money used for machine-to-machine payments. I want to repeat that because that's very important. This could constitute a giant economy that's many sizes bigger than the current economy. Bitcoin will be the money used for machine-to-machine payments.
Now, it's hard to imagine a world like that, right? Because we're all human beings and we transact with each other. But there's going to be a world, and you see how fast AI has come into the scene. There are going to be so many AI machines, and it's not just Chat GPT. There's a lot of companies making a lot of different AIs and stuff. You know what I mean? And they're going to be transacting in Bitcoin. It's going to be so many machines and stuff, and you want to get your hands on that early, because I'm telling you right now, it's not about the price of Bitcoin and all that other stuff. It's about what Satoshis can buy you. Remember, there's 100 million Satoshis in a Bitcoin. You don't have to buy a full Bitcoin. You can spend $10, $3, $2, or whatever, and get, you know, the amount of Bitcoin that you're going to get. But I'm telling you, the earlier, the better. Get your hand on some Bitcoin because it's the future of money. I'm telling you that.
So it doesn't really matter ultimately what dinosaurs like Jamie Dimon, Peter Schiff, Paul Krugman, and Warren Buffett think about Bitcoin, because they're all old and mortal and corrupt. By contrast, autonomous AI is perpetually young and immortal, and Bitcoin is money for the AI. Another obvious conclusion is this, that if you think that AI is coming for your job, and if you want some cheap insurance against becoming obsolete as a human being in this new machine-to-machine economy, it might make sense to get some AI insurance, in other words, to buy some Bitcoin, because even AI cannot increase Bitcoin's maximum supply of 21 million coins. Even AI cannot stop you or any other machine from paying or being paid with Bitcoin, because it's a peer-to-peer network, it's decentralized, and it operates according to these very interesting equilibriums. Bitcoin is not just money for people, it's money for machines, it's money for aliens, and it's money for whatever else the future holds in store for us.
Again, guys, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I couldn't agree more. I don't disagree with that at all. So let's see what Swan Bitcoin has to say about AI and Bitcoin.
I am not Morgan Freeman. What you see is not real.
In a world of AI, truth will be questioned more than ever before.
You don't want some big for-profit company deciding what's true. Do you want the government to decide what's true?
Yeah, I definitely don't want the government to decide anything for me. But did you see those videos with Morgan Freeman and Kendrick Lamar and all that? All that stuff is AI, man. Look how it looks now. I think that one's from like last year or something. Look how they look now in last year. Imagine what they're going to look like 3 to 5 years from now. We're not even going to tell the difference.
Shall we play a game?
Oh. Chatbots have come a long way since 1983, when the movie War Games depicted the threat of nuclear war because of a rogue hacker and a military supercomputer. The film is a cautionary tale about the potential dangers of relying too heavily on technology and the need for human intervention and common sense.
How about global thermonuclear war? Wouldn't you prefer a good game of chess?
But the film is no longer that far off from reality, and the stakes for civilization could be just as high.
Learn, goddammit.
I was a kid when that movie came out. I absolutely loved that movie. I never thought in my life that I'd actually see this stuff. I'm only 48 years old. And technology, how fast everything is going. You guys know, man. You know what I mean? Think about when you were a kid, even if you're in your 20s or 30s. Think about stuff that you had as a kid or you didn't have as a kid and what's going on now. It's absolutely insane.
Over the last 40 years, computers have been learning a lot, learning from our collective history.
Intelligence is error correction, and you have a staggering amount of information every day. And in that information, a lot of misinformation too, similar to the printing press, but at a totally different scale. And you have artificial intelligence and humans correcting that information, error correcting, and artificial intelligence is growing, getting more and more powerful all the time.
With more power in the hands of the average worker, AI promises to create a world of greater productivity at lower costs.
The entire trend line is going to have less and less labor along that way to the time where artificial general intelligence and computers are smarter than us. It would be hard to believe that there's going to be way more labor in the future, unless you believe in fairy tales too.
Real quick, guys, I'd really appreciate if you help me support my dream and my mission to, open everybody's eyes to everything that's going on through precious metals, Bitcoin, and everything else by getting our freedoms back around this country and around the world, and our basic rights. You know what I mean? And I haven't made a video in the last couple of days because I've been working real hard and stuff like that. But again, I want to do this thing full time, and I don't want to have to get somebody to give me ad revenue or nothing like that. You guys are my customers, and I'd rather have you guys support me. So whatever you can to donate, I'd really, really appreciate it. I could do Zelle with my email. I can do Cashapp. I can do Venmo, or Bitcoin if you can. Just whatever you can. 50 cents, quarter, dollar, whatever you can. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I think it's a pivotal moment. ChatGPT has shown that these big language models can do amazing things, and the general public has suddenly caught on.
Geoffrey Hinton, called the godfather of artificial intelligence, has been developing machine learning technology for decades.
The only reason that neural networks weren't working really well in the 1980s was because the computers weren't fast enough and the data sets weren't big enough.
With the widespread use of the internet came very big and useful data sets, as lightning speed online communication and information spread globally, and millions of computers were finally able to talk to each other and aggregate knowledge.
ChatGPT knows much more than any one person. If you had a competition about how much you know, it would just wipe out any one person.
You're amazing at bar trivia.
They're not so good at reasoning. We're better at reasoning. We have to extract our knowledge from much less data. So we've got 100 trillion connections, most of which we learn, but we only live for 1 billion seconds, which isn't very long.
But there is still something uniquely human that is missing in AI, according to Hinton.
ChatGPT is this kind of idiot savant, and it's also doesn't really understand about truth.
In a world of AI, truth will be questioned more than ever before.
I am not Morgan Freeman, and what you see is not real.
That is crazy. That looked and sounded just like freaking Morgan Freeman. And you see that black guy sitting next to his girlfriend, his AI girlfriend, her robotic girlfriend? I'm telling you, man, you thought the world looked different in 2013 till now with all this craziness going on. Imagine what the world's going to look like in 2033.
Clearly, we've come a long way from being able to take messages at face value.
Have I ever told you the story of the magical pistachio?
When more of what we consume in our daily social media intake is flagged as disinformation or misinformation, who determines what is true and what is not?
That's going to be a big issue, and we don't know how to deal with that. You don't want some big for-profit company deciding what's true. Do you want the government to decide what's true?
It comes down to training the data set. Our data sets are much more decentralized and more difficult to access than in China, where you have a government entity that literally just is clawing all the data into a consolidated database in order to train it however they deem necessary.
Ask ChatGPT what it's good at, and it will tell you, learning from a vast amount of data and constantly improving its knowledge and learning abilities.
I know a lot of people that mess with ChatGPT. I don't mess with that at all. It's a woke company. It's all about, you know what it's about, stuff that we're against, you know what I mean? Freedom and stuff like that. But I see people all the time. ChatGPT, it's a paid subscription, obviously, and people are cheating in school and, having to write their papers and doing all kind of stuff, man. You know what I mean? I don't mess with that stuff at all. I know we can't avoid the AI thing, but ChatGPT, I definitely don't mess with that.
So the question is, who is curating the data set? And now that there are so many platforms for human communication in cyberspace, what can verify the information, let alone the true identity of the messenger? You might be surprised that Bitcoin will fit into this picture.
Now people are sending videos, creating deep fakes, and they're wondering, did this person actually send this to me? And so I know that you have some thoughts on how Bitcoin can actually help verify and prove identity and allow you to cryptographically sign for pieces of information so that the person receiving it on the other end knows that it can be trusted. Can you speak a little bit to that?
The promise of AI is that this digital intelligence can do incredibly intricate things as well as or better than actual human beings. But one of the challenges of it is that means that you can spin up a billion fake AI accounts on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook that are more interesting and more engaged than the actual human beings are that they replace. We can no longer rely upon free accounts that are not cryptographically secured or monetarily secured. So the solution that Bitcoin offers is the idea that someone can create an identity and they can post a security deposit, say $20 or 100,000 Satoshis. And then once you've posted that deposit, you can cryptographically sign that credential and then use that credential as your verification.
Mr. Saylor is absolutely right. We're living in the digital age right now, and we have to verify everything now. You know, like you said, you know how many fake accounts are going to be on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever? Look at what people do now with the whatever they do to their pictures and stuff and make them look all fake and stuff like that. And if you want to make a transaction with money and stuff, Bitcoin is a blockchain, and it's a ledger that has never, ever been broken. Everything that's ever been done on it and written on it is there for history. We're at block number 700 and something thousand block. Once we get up to 810,000 blocks, because 840,000, because every 210,000 we have a Bitcoin halving. But once we get to the 840,000 block, it's another Bitcoin halving. You know what I mean? But again, it's a ledger and it's a system where everything on there is written. He's absolutely right about that.
But it goes deeper than spams and deepfakes, because the Bitcoin network is so secure, it will have uses beyond ID verification and hard money, and it will be critical to individual, business, and national interests.
Bitcoin's the world's most secure computer network. So if I wanted to inscribe a document, let's say my last will and testament, I could inscribe that document and encrypt it and then place it on the Bitcoin network. I could digitally sign it with my private key. It would be distributed to hundreds of thousands of nodes around the world. I'm cryptographically burning it into the network. I'm guaranteed to be able to send that message anywhere in the world because Bitcoin is a nation-state resistant cyber network.
Bitcoin has the potential to safeguard truth itself. But don't take our word for it. Look at the blockchain and run the numbers. In other words, don't trust, verify.
Absolutely. Never trust. Always verify, right? For those of you guys that are new to Bitcoin, again, keep stacking your precious metals. Nobody's stopping you from doing that. But again, we are going into a digital age. Bitcoin is not crypto, and crypto is not Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Whether you like it or not, I'm just telling you, whether you hate Bitcoin, you want to ignore it or whatever, the same with me with AI, artificial intelligence, because I hate artificial intelligence, but I can't ignore it. It's coming, whether I like it or not. The CBDCs are coming, whether I like it or not. So you can sit and hoard your silver and hoard your gold and pretend these things are not going to happen with Bitcoin or whatever, but it's coming, ladies and gentlemen. And CBDCs and Bitcoin are like Lex Luthor and Superman. You know what I mean?
This is the difference between Bitcoin and a central bank digital currency. Bitcoin is completely decentralized. There's no one founder or CEO which can program the money. With a central bank digital currency, it's basically a digital version of what we have now. There's nothing different to it. It's going to be entirely centralized in the control of the government and the central bank. So if for whatever reason you hold the incorrect opinion, they can just program the money and use it against you. So if you like the wrong thing on social media, your central bank digital currency will no longer work. With Bitcoin, nobody can touch it. It's entirely in your possession. You'll have a non-custodial wallet, and that is where you'll hold your Bitcoin, and nobody has access to that.
AI, I think it's going to help some things here and there. I'm not saying it's completely evil or whatever, but, I don't like the world domination and the takeover. And, hopefully a lot of good people will have some AIs to fight against the bad AIs, because I think that's going to come, to be honest. But, yeah, we're headed into a new age of technology that only movies can make up. You know what I mean? And we got to be ready for it. CBDCs, AI, all this stuff, inflation. I'm telling you, man, Bitcoin is the answer. Precious metals are a part of it, but Bitcoin is the main one. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do me a favor, guys. If you like this video, hit the like button. Only if you like it. If you guys like my channel and my videos, go ahead and share it. Now, guys, again, I know you guys don't like Bitcoin. These are two great books by two Bitcoiners. This is the guy that wrote the Bitcoin Standard. It's called Principles of Economics. It's a, man, really good read. And then this is Soft War by Major Jason P. Lowry. You can look that up. Look his name up and go to. I'll leave the link in the description box. What a book, man! What a book. Again, I've been deep diving into Bitcoin, and the more I'm learning, the more I know we have to have it and need it. So again, I'm putting myself out here. I'm putting my neck on the line because I know, you know, people don't like me and stuff because I'm mostly talking to precious metal stackers. And I'm putting myself out here with Bitcoin. But I'm telling you, I'm doing this because I love you guys. And we got to fight for our freedom and our rights. So if I'm doing that, at least you guys can do is share my videos. Because you guys already know sharing is caring. And you guys also know I love you very much. I love you guys. Even if you can't watch my videos for 2 minutes, I still love you too, bro. I love each and every one of you, man. I promise you. Stick with me through this, okay? I know. That's why I got to put some silver on the table for you. I got all 50 states here. Because I love God, I love my family, and I damn sure love my country. And I love each and every one of you. God bless you and your family. Thank you so much for watching. God bless this country, man. God bless this country. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.